Hi, I'm Jay with User Friendly Paintball, and today we're reviewing the HK Army Saber paintball gun. The score up front. Was the Saber a hit or a miss? For me, I'm going to say this one was a miss. From my experience, there are better options out there in an entry-level gun. Why do I say that? Stay tuned, I'll help explain. User-friendly paintball is all about viewing paintball gear for people who are new to the sport of paintball, or for folks who are trying to save money when they're choosing their next paintball purchase. I get first-hand experience with paintball gear and pass on my impressions to you guys. What you do with it, that's up to you. But I'm glad to help you choose your paintball buys in any way that I can. Quick background. HK Army has been producing paintball gear since 2007. Their reputation is that of being a company that primarily markets toward a younger paintball demographic. New players, they're essential to the sport, so I can't really argue with that approach. If you got nobody to play with or against, just plinking away with a glorified air gun, yeah? And younger players, they bring an energy to this sport that I think is always needed. The HK Army Saber was released in the summer of 2021. It's aimed at an entry-level crowd, or toward rental markets that are dominated so far, in my experience, from Tippmanns or Kingmans. It's a stacked tube blowback design. This means that it uses a hammer and a mainspring in the lower tube of the body, linked to the bolt in the upper tube, which activates the gun's valve when the trigger is pulled. The shape of the valve pin is what causes the gun to recock. A little bit of pressure from the gun's shot is diverted back into that lower tube, and it pushes the hammer back against the mainspring, and it recocks the gun. This is kind of a more elegant recocking solution, I'd say, than the design like on the autococker, though in my experience it's not as reliable. If you've ever been shooting a stacked tube blowback and the sear on the trigger failed to engage, you got that farting sound that it makes when the trigger doesn't catch and it this throws off your shooting, and it makes shooting a stacked tube less reliable overall, in my opinion, especially when the gun is low on air pressure. Not to say that stacked tube blowback guns aren't good guns. Far from it. The design has been around a long time, and if the gun is well taken care of, it'll work fine for years to come. The Saber comes in a variety of colors. The one I picked up I got in the pewter silvery gray. It comes with dual ball detents on either side of the breech. That's good because these dual ball detents will hold the next paintball in the chamber in a more balanced fashion than the single ball detents on designs like the Spider. Some people say that that would make it shoot a little smoother, less likely to veer off because of undue pressure on one side versus the other side of the paintball as it's being shot out of the barrel. In my experience, guns that use a single detent, like the Spider, don't actually seem to give any adverse performance, but some people would argue that point. Stacked tube designs from Azeden, like the Chaos, have dual detents as well. One nice thing about the Saber is the barrel threading. The Saber comes with a 12-inch standard autococker threaded barrel. Now, if you've watched any of my videos before, you may have noticed that I'm an advocate of the autococker threaded barrel. The good thing about this thread is that when you go to find a different barrel for your paintball gun, most folks, they go with autococker threading. And so manufacturers, they're going to have it in autococker threading. If they don't have it in any other threading, autococker they're going to have. So when you want to get it upgraded, instead of some obscure threading, less easy to find, manufacturers aren't supporting as much, you're almost guaranteed to find the barrel with threading you need that is going to work for you. Having the Saber have autococker threading means that upgrading this barrel is going to be a breeze for you. You can get a better barrel without much trouble. The Saber has a nearly unique design in the stacked tube blowback, and that is the use of a gas-through grip. So instead of having your airline come from the front of the ASA and attach here where the valve is on the gun, it diverts up through the grip and then through this foregrip, through the trigger frame, and around through. So through this part. Some folks are really sold on this. Me, I thought it was okay. Not having an airline from here to here, dragging in the way of things, it wasn't bad. And I'd say it was a selling feature on this gun. It was a good reason to pick one up. Some people would say that makes the gun more durable as well, since you don't have an airline from here to here catching on things, dragging in the way, possibly getting bumped and broken. Personally, in my experience, from using stack tube blowbacks with an airline exposed, I haven't had a lot of issue with it, but your mileage may vary in this. Plus, in a lot of stack tube blowbacks I've used, you've got a foregrip here coming down from the gun, and then a very short airline that connects your ASA here in the bottom to that foregrip. It's about yay long. So if you catch that on something or break it on something, you were really trying hard. Personally, I haven't had a lot of issues with it, but this is a very elegant solution, putting the airline through the foregrip and then through the trigger guard and down through the grip. Kudos to HK for trying something different. But at the same time, having an airline non-exposed, in this guy's opinion, it seems kind of trendy. Like, hey, look, no airline. Yeah, I mean, it's nice, but it's not essential in this guy's opinion. The Saber does use a molded foregrip that fits your off trigger guard hand, and it holds it pretty decently. I wasn't sure how I'd take to it, but actually I thought it felt pretty decent during play. Transitions were pretty smooth, and the gun had a nice, comfortable, snappy feel. A small problem though, this foregrip means that if you're a person who likes to customize your paintball gear, especially your guns, and you're looking to put different foregrips or stuff on this paintball gun, on the HK Army, you're out of luck on this Saber. Pretty much what you see is what you get with this gun. I venture to guess that HK Army is banking on this gun being a starter gun of sorts, and that players will either enjoy this gun for what it is and not want to do a lot of major upgrading, or that they'll only use it as a basic gun and then be forced, especially by the design of the gun, to upgrade, change guns over time, rather than try to tweak this thing up to their liking. But, and here's a big but, the price of this gun. The Saber at the time of this video's release, it's running $130 retail. That's a fair price for an entry-level gun, but it's definitely not groundbreaking. Both Kingman and Tippmann offer guns comparable in price or cheaper that compete really well with the Saber. And they've been around for a long time, and they're very solid platforms. The contents of the box were pretty nice. You get a bag with an instruction manual. You've got some basic tools here, a couple O-rings, some Allen wrenches. Nice thing, it comes with a barrel sock. If you're going out in the field, you've got to be able to sock up that gun. It's nice of HK Army to give you a full one. This is a nice touch. For what you spend, they ought to throw that in there. Also comes with a product catalog, which, hey, that's a good thing. Hey, HK Army, go with the advertising. Another nice thing about this box, and I like that, this was the warning, this is not a toy thing that came on the bottom of the gun when I pulled it out of the box. Another nice thing about this box I like, you've got it on the manual, you've also got it right here in the top, which I know a lot of people throw away the box, but you've got the diagram right here, shows you the breakdown of this gun. Okay, I think that's cool. Maybe it's just being silly, but kudos to HK again for useful packaging. Back real quick to the construction of the gun. The grip frame is plastic feed neck as well. It does have a tension screw in the back for holding the hopper neck on tight, which is good. I don't know if this feed neck is going to take abuse on the field, but it looks durable. I think this is a better design, in my opinion, especially with the flush mount of the screw mounts. Trigger frame features a full 2-finger trigger. This makes shooting semi-auto fast and smooth. Good results with a 2-finger trigger. This is the push safety on it. Push it this way, you're ready to go. HK Army did not mark the trigger side that's hot as red. So this is ready to fire, but as you may be able to see, silver. So you got to know which direction's hot and which direction's not. Luckily, it says right here on it, push fire, push safe. Double trigger, not a super smooth trigger, so this is going to shoot a little faster depending on the user's ability to pull that trigger quick. So this is a nice feature for this entry-level paintball gun. feels good in your hand. Fairly lightweight and compact. Being a stack tube blowback, it is open bolt, which means the bolt is back when the gun is ready to fire. Pull it, shoots forward, ball goes down the barrel. The blowback part blows that bolt back open. Another round in the chamber, ready to go. Just pull the trigger, bolt goes forward, open bolt. This gun is a bit on the loud side. In fact, I think it's louder than a Spider, which is saying something. I don't have scientific evidence to prove the difference in the volume. I didn't take any specific audio tools to it, but just by ear, I mean, this thing, bam, 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 bam. Also, the kick on this HK Army Saber, that's actually one of the reasons I'd say pass on this gun. When I pulled it out of the box and put a tank on it and loaded paint and pulled that trigger for the first time, I was surprised at just how much punch this thing had. So first, I figured it needed to have the velocity adjusted. I got it over to the chrono bench. I checked it. Just out of the box, tank on it, no adjustment at all to the velocity. It was shooting 265, 245, 250. It wasn't super consistent. Probably does need a little bit of break-in on the spring. But that kick to the gun, even when the velocity is not high, that was concerning, and it did affect my play. Oh, mentioning velocity adjustment, the HK Army Saber has a really nice diagram on the rear cap. You may be able to see it in this. You've got your adjustment instructions on there, so you know which direction to turn to adjust it up, which direction to turn to adjust it down. That's a nice touch. Very entry level and very much appreciated. Now, back to, as I said, the gun's performance on the field. That's another reason I say it's probably best to pass on this marker. The kick made the gun feel less smooth than some of the other entry-level options I've mentioned, so it's harder to put paint where you want it.
Well, I wouldn't say this thing shoots super accurate.
Also, the gun broke paint worse than other entry-level paintball guns that I've tried straight out of the box. Yeah, could it be the barrel? Yeah, it could be the barrel. Certainly possible. It could also be the paint I was shooting. It was field-grade paint. But these guns should love that sort of stuff out of the box. That may be pretentious on my part to say, but honestly, the people that you market this gun to, they're going to pull it out of the box, put the tank on it, expect it to shoot well, and when it doesn't shoot well right out of the box, as an entry-level gun, as a gun that should be fairly idiot-proof, it's a concern to me. It's part of why I say I wouldn't recommend it. New players, they don't want to break in a gun. It could be a matter of the spring, the main spring on the gun, a harder spring designed to break in over time. Is it a mistake on HK Army's part to use too hard of springs, or is it purposeful design to make the gun more durable, balanced with the breaking in period? Or is my gun maybe just a dud? Who can say? What else? Pressure efficiency was okay. This gun shot fairly consistently on pressure, and it didn't run like an air hog. But it wasn't super high-end either. I wasn't getting 10,000 shots out of one tank either. The balls per second, I Googled it and I didn't come up with any specific information. I venture to guess that 10 balls per second is generous, but it's possible if you're quick on the draw. But it is a mechanical paintball gun, and not the fastest mechanical paintball gun design by any means. Maintenance of this gun is not terrible, but again, in my opinion, it's not as easy. Why? The foregrip. If you have to take this gun apart, this thing's not going to be as easy to disassemble as a Spider with either a foregrip or a braided line. You have to take that apart. You have to take apart more of the gun to strip it down. But the guide in the box and the manual, they'll help with that. And pulling the bolt out of the top tube is really easy. If you need to do just a basic top-down clean, just pull that top pin and pull that bolt out. You can swab straight down through the gun, clean out any barrel breaks, and you're good to go. The styling of the gun is decent too. This has more of a speedball appearance. I do like the lines of this HK Army saber. Real quick, this channel is not sponsored by any company, team, or organization. So what you get from me is based on my years of experience and the lessons I've learned. When I buy a piece of paintball gear, I do so almost always with an eye to how much bang I'm getting for my buck. For years, I played paintball on a budget. And so getting the best deal for my gear is important to me. And I want to pass on any help I can get to new players who are coming up or people in the sport who want a good perspective, a broad view on gear that they're contemplating buying. If you want to support this channel, do the like, subscribe, and notify thing, and I do thank you. There are other ways to help out, as mentioned in the comments below the video. And hey, I appreciate you watching. So why will I not be using nor recommending an HK Army Saber? Like I mentioned, the gun has a harder kick than I think an entry-level gun in 2021 should. The barrel breaks, they also made it a bit less desirable. This could be remedied by changing the barrel and could be a result of shooting field paint, which is certainly less than higher quality stuff. But really, these guns should love field paint, like I said. If you're looking to get into the sport, I know from experience that you can get a better gun with similar features for comparable money. The ancillary details such as the autococker threaded barrel, the dual detents, the adjustment guide, and most especially that gas-through grip design, they just didn't justify the gun's performance in my opinion. Here's a quick roundup of the goods, followed by the bads, from my point of view. Now you know. Thanks everybody for watching this video. Again, like, follow, subscribe, do good to others. Wear insect repellent so you can stick it to those darn blood-sucking mosquitoes. Take time to visit your elderly relatives. And hey, go play paintball. Okay, camera. I hate you and you hate me, but this has just gotta work. Personally, I thought it was okay. The dual ball. Personally, I thought the bullet. In my experience, single detent ball spring that's there to start out hard and get a little softer over time. That sounded really bad. Hey, just in time. Just in time. Got a rhyme. Sing a song. Won't be long.